What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
If you perhaps haven't noticed, this TV show is quite weird and unique in its own way. It is more than obvious that the Riverdale cast doesn't want to fit in many ways and aspects. So due to that, the cast has experienced quite strange moments that shocked everyone, and if you haven't noticed, here is your chance. Stay with us and find out about Riverdale's most awkward moments on set. Betty decides to become a cam girl. This TV show takes very loose methods to adjust the real Archie Comics. Due to that, this advanced contemporary take includes many faced versions of Betty instead of enforcing her to be the classic, flawless girl everyone expects to see. But nevertheless, instead of making her rebellious in a more of a delicate, slight manner, they made a decision to create Betty in the darkest way possible, which is actually a perfectly depicted alter ego with a short black bob hairstyle. Her behavior is unbounded and ferocious. Her alter ego first time shows up when she and Veronica made a decision to punish Chuck, but that's not the real shock. The real surprise is when Betty decides to become a cam girl. That was obviously a real surprise. From tragic couple to distant cousins. From casual chat to unforgettable prohibited romance. Polly and Jason's love story at the beginning looks like a literal fairy tale. The affair ended in a tragic way, including Jason's abrupt and dreadful murder, but however, the story continued with a confident air of romance. If we take time and mention the forceful split, then there's sudden engagement after Polly's surprise pregnancy. Through all of those circumstances, these two were seemingly very much into the relationship they had. But of course, that nothing ever remains the same, especially when things go well, and everything changed at the moment when Hal uncovered that actually the Coopers and Blossoms were related. And with that said, they find out that Jason and Polly are blood relatives, which came as a huge shock to everyone. This devastating information stained Jason and Polly's romantic story, and from this moment on, they became from tragic and dramatic couple to cold and distant cousins. Kevin examining his sexuality. Many were confused when it came to the tickle scene with Kevin and the purpose behind it. But however, these series are known for their variable, occasional addiction to periodic digressions into awkward subplots. And even though Kevin is completely free to go deeper and find out every single thing about his very own sexuality, the series has put him a couple of times in quite dangerous and risky situations. And all that for the sake of some flings or romance. On top of that, let's not forget that Kevin is still in high school and is actually underage. But in Riverdale, plots age have never been a concern. Archie with the unreasonable answer. Archie is in love with high school football, and that's strongly established over the series, but he tries to expand his passion for football far too much in this particular scene. While Archie was in prison, he encountered a prisoner with a very unfortunate background. He revealed to Archie that he dropped 4th grade to sell drugs on the streets in order to support his grandmother. Even though this information was touching and something not that easy to swallow at once, at that moment Archie gave a response that wasn't quite appropriate nor gave the needed source of info to answer to the other prisoner's statement. He just blurted it out that this guy doesn't feel the pain that high school football brought to him. And that's obviously due to the fact that he never felt something more tragic than not taking part in high school sports. This scene made Archie quite a more surface type of person, and with that he lost the complexness and deepness in his character. Archie trying to become the hero. It is more than obvious that Archie would die to restore justice, and that's obviously a quite good trait, but sometimes his intentions are somehow a little bit out of order. So with that said, in Season 2, he created a vigilante crew named the Red Circle in order to track down the deadly Black Hood. And everything seemed great, up until the moment when it didn't work out as it was expected. Obviously, Archie's idea of threat adds space with men without shirts, wearing red ski masks, and on top of that, his monologue doesn't help in improving the Red Circle scene at all. If we were being honest, this scary group was more hilarious than something that stopped Archie from wanting to be the hero of the story. In Season 4, he remained to play the same exact superhero role.
This is a message for the coward calling himself the Black Hood. You think you can attack us from the shadows?
Overly sexualize the teenager characters. Even though some of the characters in Riverdale are incredibly talented when we talk about singing with some of them, that's not the case. Especially a couple of moments makes us even wonder why some scenes are there in the actual series. And one of those moments is when Riverdale tries to sing a cover of Elvis's Jailhouse Rock, and all of that in front of the juvenile detention center when Archie is situated. The connection is obvious, but we think that this particular scene is quite unnecessary. Also, we are focusing on one of those times when it expresses how the show loves to overly sexualize its teenage characters, even if that makes no sense at all. Veronica and her daddy and Archiekins. Yes, we all know that dialogues that take part in this series are not quite realistic, nor that much natural as in other TV shows. Still, Veronica's continuous utilization of words such as daddy, Archiekins, and daddykins might be one of the most annoying and off-putting behaviors in a character. Every time she uses these words, they turn out to be quite afterthoughts that actually make it look even more weird. On top of that, the scene where Veronica calls her dad daddy, even though she is very angry at him, explains it all. So with that said, it's obvious that this is never fitting the mood of this scene.
This bottle I cracked open is a lot better than the swill you've been making recently, Daddy.
Veronica kisses Jughead. So here we have one of the most dishonorable mentions where Veronica goes to Jughead and tells him not to freak out, and then she kisses him, in front of everyone, which is quite an awkward moment, we must admit. You can see the uncomfortable grimaces that Archie and Betty made at that moment. Veronica and Archie's breakup. Yes, Veronica and Archie's breakup scene is one of the most saddest parts of the series, and they both did an excellent job to perfectly transfer their emotions in the midst of a quite tough situation. Most of the fans were surely crying at this terrific scene, but nevertheless, the writers of the plot decided to create even stronger phrases that literally touched even those that consider themselves being without emotions. This is such a sad scene.
Don't you make me say goodbye to you, Archie Andrews. Because I don't want to hear it back.
Betty's inappropriate dance. When talking about these scenes, we can say that everything about it is very harsh, and it even seems a little bit without any point. To express her love and passion for Jughead, she is making a decision to perform a striptease to the sorrowful medley of Sad World. The moment where she accepts his new life is cute, but is there any logic there? She is a minor, and the situation gets even more awkward because her both parents are there watching and her dancing in an inappropriate way. The moment where her mother looked at her in a very awkward manner and the JP's clapping affirmed that very statement. On a related note, we wanted to know which was your favorite one from our video. What do you think about these scenes? Is there something specific you think was typically awkward that happened between these actors? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.